Good afternoon to those who listen. It's September 20th, 2025, 4:24 p.m. Here's the follow-up to the Mandela effect change in the Bible. So, I asked the question to the chat GPT, why can't you make the caption of the picture so, as in sewing, like garments, fabric, whatever, and not so, as in sewing agriculture, plants, crops, whatever. Good question. The picture generator sometimes defaults back to the original proverb. So there it is, right there. It's the original proverb. Because it's a much more common phrase in its training data that the pun version with so, basically the model thinks it should autocorrect to the traditional wording. So it's admitting that the traditional wording is that. We know that when in the Bible, that when they say you shall reap what you sow, we know they're not talking about sewing garments, sewing fabric. Come on. I can just see, I should have done that too. I could just see, back then, I don't even know when it was, but way before Jesus was born, I could just picture a woman at a sewing machine stitching away. Come on. All right, so then it says, would you like me to regenerate this picture? So then it finally gets the picture. So this is just for laughs. You will reap what you sow. I'm sorry, for some reason I just got a laugh out of this. And I don't know, it's so insane how, they're changing things and how, I don't know, I guess a lot of people just don't notice. But like Laura Duke was saying in her comments, that maybe this is a way, she was saying that, the stuff was supposed to be sealed until the end. And maybe now, since we're in the end days, that all the stuff is opened up to us and the enemy is changing everything. And then it's a way for people to really know, if they remember the word the way, it was actually written. And now that it's changed, how many people are actually going to notice or care that it's been changed? And, some things that are changed in the Bible, they're just slight changes where the meaning is pretty much the same. But then there's other passages where, it's totally different. So and so is totally different meanings. And I know there wasn't some grandma sewing, back then that, and whoever was, whoever wrote the Ecclesiastes, because I looked it up, it didn't say for sure who the author was, but we know the author wasn't talking about sewing clothes. It was sowing, crops. Whatever you sow into the ground, that's what you will reap. And if you tend to your garden crops well, you'll get a good harvest. So that's what it's talking about, not this. So I just thought it was funny. I just thought I would put this up there. Hopefully you guys can get a good laugh on this. I'm feeling a little bit better. I've missed the last 2 weeks of church. I'm planning on going to church tonight in a couple hours. Last week I was going to go, and then like just a couple hours before, I just was not feeling good at all. And it's mainly been the stomach area, my abdomen and all the bloating and pain. It's I've had a little bit of back problems, mainly with the neck, but that wasn't what the main problem was. So I'm going to church tonight. I'm planning on it at least, unless something happens. That's why when I was at church the last time, you coming back to church? I said, yeah, I'll be back, God willing. And I threw that in there because you never know. I've had so many times where back at Westside in Davenport where, I was planning on going and then something happened with the health and the breathing, whatever. And that stopped me from going. It stopped me from being able to take my daughter there too. So, but anyway, that's it. I just wanted to just put this out there for a little bit of a laugh. Thanks for watching. God bless.